Well, relationships are absolutely critical. You know, the industry is changing very quickly. A lot of these relationships are so critical because we need to work with each other as things evolve, keep each other informed of what's happening. From my perspective, my business is all about relationships, it's about partnerships, it's about finding ways to work together. So with content creators, it's about helping guide them into a world of internet distribution, helping them build channels on YouTube, helping them find new audiences, and importantly, drive new revenue streams. That's where I focus my work.
What African countries do you cite as having particularly high potential when it comes to consuming broadband services?
We see Africa as a very rapidly growing region, generally speaking. And then we also look at content that's being consumed in Africa and content that's being exported from Africa. The highest export content, I would say, is probably coming from Nigeria. We have partners there that are generating, tens of millions of hours of views per year with, say, Nigerian cinema or music. And I think as more countries start to come online, as more countries start to get better access to bandwidth, we'll see more great creative content coming from Africa and being consumed around the world. Within Africa, people are consuming all kinds of content. It's amazing. Educational content, entertainment, how-to videos. So it really does depend, but YouTube is just this enormous database of all types of videos from all over the world. We have now 4 billion views per day, and that's up 25% just from the beginning of 2012. 4 billion views per day. 6 years ago, we were about 100 million views per day. So you can see what type of growth we're seeing. And it's, Africa is one of the areas that's set to explode in the coming 5 years.
Patrick, what Africa is experiencing now with the rollout of broadband penetration is what Europe essentially experienced 5 years ago. What are the key lessons that Africa can learn from Europe?
Well, first of all, if the internet is accessible, people will just consume more. And people will spend more from an advertising community, then people will create more because they have more incentives to earn money. So you create a whole ecosystem. It all comes down to accessibility. And so, 5, 6 years ago in the UK, for example, even, and then later in Eastern Europe, you would consume video on a mobile phone and you'd have to pay for the data, and you would have these crazy phone bills, or it would just get blocked. And so once more Wi-Fi hotspots started to pop up, or more fixed rate data plans started to come into place, then people could consume comfortably. On top of that, the handset penetration for mobile phones that are smartphones that have web browsers and internet access are exploding. So as the accessibility to the Samsung handsets, the smartphones, the iPhones increases, so does the video consumption. So I'm expecting to see a similar trend here. More bandwidth, smarter technology, more inexpensive smartphones for the market, and Africa is set to leapfrog other markets just because they won't even go through the PC phase, they'll go straight to mobile. We'll see huge consumption here.
In your presentation, you spoke about the Gangnam Style video, which has now become the most viewed video on YouTube. Tell us what excites YouTube about the opening up of new markets, especially in the developing world.
Yeah, well, Gangnam Style, this guy, Psy, who produced that, he's Korean, he's been in the music industry, has many albums out, but this song really struck a chord and became a global phenomenon. But it goes to show you that talent can come from anywhere, that celebrity can be born from any part of the world, and YouTube gives people that opportunity to reach a global audience instantaneously. What's interesting, we look at Korea, and Korea has the most bandwidth available to the most people. In Korea now, 50% of the views we have on YouTube are coming from mobile devices, compared to about 25% everywhere else in the world on average. So we look at different markets, we see different trends, we see different content trends, we see different usage patterns. It's unfortunate that YouTube isn't consumed in places like China, but the world is a very big place and we are growing like crazy. And everybody can benefit. So
from a YouTube perspective, mobile is the future of how data will be consumed?
Yeah, from our perspective, video is video. It's not online video versus other types of video. Video is video, and it should be free to exist and be consumed on any device, and in any country for that matter. That's what the users expect. The users don't think about the different rights behind the scenes and what it takes to get content somewhere. They just know that when I'm on the train, I want to watch it on my handset or my tablet. When I'm at work, I want to watch it on my desktop. When I'm at home, I want to watch it on my TV. It's just video. And if it's not accessible there, they get very disappointed. So we're just trying to make it as accessible as possible. We're trying to help clear rights for as many devices and in many countries as we can. In Africa this year, actually, for the first time, we made live streams of the Olympics available for the very first time. 65 countries around the world, from Azerbaijan to Zimbabwe, had live streaming of the Olympics for the very first time, because the broadcasters actually didn't have the wherewithal to make it happen, but we could. So I think we'll see an increasing trend, more investment, more content, more access, but it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride for a while.